Well, I want to thank you all for joining us here this evening, and thank all the men for joining us this evening. Really appreciate you having you on this evening. There are some special men in our lives, and especially in my life, my young boys. Well, they're not young anymore, but they were young at one point. Jack and Luke, you can see them there. And those are Maryellen. You're going to hear from Maryellen Vanderbeek, holistic nutritionist. Those are her boys. And I have to say that this presentation is funny. We've been doing this for many, many years, and I think we found the men's presentation the most complicated to put together. So I didn't realize how complicated you men were. But we're going to try to keep this as simple as possible, but there's a lot to cover. And so don't feel like don't get overwhelmed. Nation is just going to guide you and how nutritionally you can support some of these conditions that tend to kind of develop. And some of the concerns that we're going to be talking about is preventing diabetes and obesity, heart health and stroke prevention, prostate cancer prevention, erectile dysfunction, healthy joints and gout, an athlete's foot, which is like a yeast candida kind of issue. And sometimes men have a hard time understanding that candida or yeast can, happen in men, and it's very, very common. So we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the things that we can do to help balance the body. And another thing that we want to look at is exercise. I mean, if you're not exercising, that's something that you really need to start looking at, finding something that you like to do. And that's what even for women, I always say, find something you like to do and just do it often. Very, very important. And soda pop, sugar, and even some of these energy drinks can be loaded with sugar. That can also be a huge challenge in men as well. So if you are consuming a lot of soda or turning to energy drinks, there are alternatives, and we're going to be talking about some things that we have to offer as well. And just not moving enough, because watching too much television is a huge challenge with some men that I've talked to a lot of men. They say they just like to come home and sit on the couch and just watch TV, and that could also cause issues, especially when it comes to circulation and cardiovascular disease and rest. I mean, if you don't get enough rest and have enough sleep, that can also cause a lot of health challenges down the road. So you really need to make time for rest. And when you're looking at some of the other challenges that we have, especially different types of cancers like prostate cancer, you really need to look at your diet. And that's something we're going to be focusing on a lot this evening. We're going to talk a lot about fruits and vegetables, and even the National Cancer Institute talks about a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, particularly cruciferous ones and whole grains. So we're going to be talking about that. A diet low in saturated fats and high in fish. Keep a healthy body weight. Limit alcohol, and exercise. So these are all the things that help to lower the risk of prostate cancer. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well. So what are carotenoids? When you look at this beautiful picture on the right, all these dark colored, yellows and orange and red fruits and vegetables, they contain carotenoids, which are lipid soluble antioxidants, and they protect the cell membrane. And the cell membrane is what allows nutrients in and waste out. So these carotenes, they literally protect the cell. They also help to enhance the immune system and help to protect you against macular degeneration and protect you against cardiovascular diseases and cardiovascular disease and even certain cancers. And carotenoids also help to keep your skin healthy. So, when you're looking at fruits and vegetables, do you know how many servings we should be eating? They're saying now between 9 to 13 servings of dark colored fruits and vegetables every single day. And that's a huge challenge today, not just in men, and everybody overall. So carotenoids, the Neolife carotenoid complex is just one product that we have that's been clinically proven to boost the immune capacity. And what's really neat about this product, it's made from carrots and tomatoes and spinach and apricots and peaches. And it's been clinically proven to boost your immune system 37%. in just 20 days. And that was a study done by the USDA. So, when you're talking about eating and looking at fruits and vegetables, the challenge is eating that much. So this is a great product just to help to fill the gap that we're not getting enough in our diet every day. Another vegetable that we like to talk a lot about are your cruciferous vegetables. So those are your smelly vegetables when you cook them. And they tend to be the vegetables that people kind of stay away from. I know my son, I tried to get him to eat Brussels sprouts, but he just cannot do it. And they're definitely a vegetable that's harder to enjoy. I love Brussels sprouts, but the smelly vegetables are like your broccoli, your cabbage, your turnip, your radish, and your kale, and they protect you against hormonally mediated cancers such as prostate cancer. They also trigger enzymes that act to block carcinogenic damage to our cells, like the DNA. And they say that we should be eating a cruciferous vegetable every single day, protect you against hormonally mediated cancers. And that is so important, especially even with women with hormones. So men and women, this is so important to make sure that we're consuming these vegetables every single day. And I have a lot of guys that say they love that we have cruciferous because they don't eat any of those vegetables. They tend to stay away from them. But if you are kind of like one of those guys, then this product is called Cruciferous Plus. And it has the sources of cruciferous properties from broccoli, radish, kale, black mustard, brown mustard, watercress, oranges, licorice, and soybeans. And the cruciferous properties, they're not an antioxidant. They actually detoxify the toxins that have been accumulated in the cell. And that's why it plays such a big role in prevention of hormonally mediated cancers like prostate cancer. So Cruciferous Plus, hands down, is just another way to supplement if you're not eating a cruciferous vegetable every single day. So I'm going to have our special guest, our holistic nutritionist, Maryellen Vandenbrink, join us this evening and just kind of go through some of the Neo-Life differences. So Maryellen, I'm so grateful to have you join us tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nada. Because as you know, when I got introduced to Neo-Life, I actually I was interested because my son had respiratory issues. And, once we got started, everyone, saw the great results. But I did have a bit of a hard time convincing my husband to try the products at the beginning because he said, I'm in my 30s, I play hockey, I'm healthy, I'm fine. And I kind of did a challenge with him. I said, look, try it for 6 months. If you don't notice a difference, then I won't ask you again. And after 6 months, he didn't think he noticed a difference, but I noticed he had more energy and he was feeling better. And it was interesting because when he went off, that's when he noticed the difference because it was so gradual, right? Because he didn't really have a lot of health issues. And you're going to hear a story later, but when he retired, he was the only one that he was working with that wasn't on medication, hadn't had hip replacements. So again, we're keying a lot in on prevention tonight. And when I was very comfortable, sharing the products with my family and friends, because when you look at the science behind the products, they are based in nature. So they're all whole food. They're backed by science. They've been around since 1958. They've never had a dietary recall. And the nice thing is too, is they specialize on the supplements. And of course we have the skincare and then keeping the toxins out of the environment with our health, with our G1 and our earth products. And the reason the products are so pure is because they're backed by good science. The founder of Neo-Life Scientific Advisor Board was Dr. Arthur First. He was actually one of the top toxicologists in the world. And when he was doing his research on cancer, he found nutrients in food prevent disease. And that's why he joined up with Neo-Life in the 1970s. And, he put together this incredible scientific advisory board. We have a world-renowned scientists and nutrition experts and researchers and doctors, and they don't just endorse the products. They're involved in the research and development. I see so many products where, say so-and-so, a good looking doctor, you see his picture on there and he's just saying, hey, this is a good product. So this is very, very unique to have this research behind it. And we actually get to sit down and talk to them too. And the products are whole food and they're based in nature. Like every ingredient is based on food, because as you know, that Lancet study they did a few years ago, they found it's not what we're eating, it's what we're not eating. We need to fill the gap of what's not in our foods anymore. And that's where Neolife plays a huge role. And the interesting thing is, if you look at the lot number on the side of every bottle, they can go back right to the seed stock and they know where the product was grown. It's fully traceable, and every single product is non-GMO. So that's really important. There's no genetically modified organisms, and they test for every single one. And every product has been, all the products have good science behind it, good evidence-based science. And we have so many studies clinically proving that the products do work. So it's not just saying, hey, vegetables are good for you. They actually test the product on humans and publish it in peer-reviewed journals. And here's a perfect example of that, because one of the keys to staying healthy is to reduce inflammation. And inflammation can be caused by many things: stress, chemicals. And if the Neolife salmon oil was actually tested and proven to reduce inflammation in just 8 weeks on 3 capsules a day, 68%. I've never seen another product that actually has a good evidence-based study like that behind it. And this is why it works. That's why I got rid of my migraines. Like my husband, when he blew his knee out, this was the only product he used, and he never had to have surgery. It does make such a huge difference to get that inflammation down. And now this is a friend of Nada's who's got an amazing story on a problem that many men deal with, prostate issues.
Hi, my name is Trevor. I was introduced to my wife over 20 years ago now, I should imagine. At the time I was diagnosed with large prostate. I got put on a prescription drug called Flomax.
Very little girl. He was only wants mommy.
First advice.
She's like, where's the mommy?
Beauty doctor. Have basic tests are awful, but without them, you could be in serious trouble. Thankfully, I was diagnosed with just a large prostate. Yeah, I took a prescription for about two years. Yes. Had good success with it. I believe my back pain and frequent now visits to the washroom during the night, especially. At about that time, we discovered Neolife, different reasons actually, not for once I started, I mean, we just came alongside, and the products we both started on the treatment. I added salmon oil. The reason being, I tried saw palmetto, and I wanted to get off prescription drugs, and I wanted to get off it, but the saw palmetto didn't have any noticeable effect really. I thought I guess I'm going to be on this Flomax forever. A few months after that, I started the salmon oil. A few months after I started, sorry, I ran out of Flomax. And we forgot. I just forgot to get it refilled, and a week went by, and then another week, and finally I noticed I hadn't taken Flomax for several weeks, and my back pain had not come back at all. Usually I'd go 2 or 3 days, something like that, and the pain would be back, and I go, oh, sure, I forgot my Flomax. But this didn't happen on this occasion. I had read that salmon oil was effective in helping to deal with enlarged prostate, and summarized that maybe that's what did it. I am now convinced that it is a combination of TreeMN and salmon oil. which have produced such nice unexpected benefits. I have been off Flomax now for decades, and to this day I'm fine as long as I take someone on the treatment. It's quite unbelievable, isn't it? We are so blessed to have been introduced to these amazing products, and they have helped me and actually my family members in so many ways. It's just been an absolute blessing. Thank you.
So I've known Trevor and Christy and their family for, well, like I said, over 20 years, and they've had amazing, just incredible results. Oops, sorry, incredible results. And one of the key things that, you know, Trevor really focused on was the salmon oil and the Trianen. And when you look at inflammation, inflammation is the root cause of so many challenges in our health, and enlarged prostate is one of them. And you know, ever since his story, we've helped so many people over the years with this challenge, and even with frequent urination and things like that. So, you know, something as simple as a good quality fish oil has made a huge impact. So, and I'm sorry for a little bit of the noise that was happening, but I hope that that came through at the end there a little clearer. And I just want to make sure I can, sorry, I'm having some challenges with the slides. Here we go. Okay, so also when you're looking at inflammation, it also is part of cardiovascular health and keeping your heart healthy. That's also something that is really important as well when you're looking at a good quality omega-3. And Maryellen, when you look at omega-3, what are some of the other benefits in omega-3, and especially when you're looking at the Neolife salmon oil?
Yeah, omega-3s are there's so much research on them now, but there's so many different types out there. So, but you know, the fact that they keep our cardiovascular system healthy, keep our heart healthy, and they help to prevent cardiovascular events and lower triglycerides. And the Neolife salmon oil was proven to do that. They reduce inflammation and risk factors associated with chronic disease, such as cancer and arthritis. And I know when I used to have to take my mom to the oncologist, you know, the doctor there said the number one thing for cancer is omega-3s. He stressed it over and over. And important for cognitive function for our brain, because we want to be there when we get there, and emotional well-being, of course, healthy skin and eyes, and of course, as a healthy prostate. I'm sorry we had trouble hearing, but Trevor was actually sharing that he had been on a drug for 2 years and ran out of it. And because he was on the Neolife salmon oil, he never went back. So 18 years now, he has not been on the drug, and he has had no issues. And he knew before if he went off the drug, his back would hurt. That was the key, that he was having prostate issues. So it's a pretty incredible story. So, you know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I might get him to redo that video a little louder next time. He's usually very loud and robust. But and you know what, Maryellen, this is one of the products, the omega-3 fish oil has been played a huge role in my life, as you guys know, with my son Jack, who had a brain injury 3 years ago, and it was a month after COVID, and I wasn't allowed in the hospital, and the brain surgeon that worked in the hospital had Jack on an omega-3 and said that it played a critical role in reducing inflammation and brain injury recovery. And he approved our salmon oil in the hospital. His recovery was cut to a third. They gave me a 6-month window recovery, and he was home in 6 weeks with 100% recovery and no rehab. And I know that the omega-3 played a key role in just reducing inflammation. So he was able to heal so much faster. And, you know, and Trevor talked about Trianen, and that is, I think, probably a term that some of you have never heard before, but this is what started Neolife back 65 years ago. Because when you look at your cell membrane, every cell in your body is surrounded by these lipids, these good fats that keep the cell membrane soft and permeable to allow nutrients in and waste out. If you don't have these oils, these grain oils, these essential lipids in your diet, the membrane looks like the cell on the left. So nutrients can't get in completely, and waste cannot leave the cell. So you have a lot of very tired and very sluggish cells. And this is what drew me to the company over 35 years ago. I was very tired. I was working as a police officer in the city, and I had what you call adrenal gland exhaustion. So I was tired all the time. And when I started taking Tran, what a difference it made in my just my hormones, my PMS, and my fatigue. It totally turned things around. And I had a really good diet. And it made sense to me that my cells were just not utilizing, absorbing the nutrients efficiently. And that's what Tran does. And this is one of the products that Trevor added alongside of his salmon oil, just to make sure that his cells were functioning properly. So this is really important that you have these grain oils. So Tran was clinically proven by Texas A&M University to help your cells absorb nutrients from your diet by 50% more. And this has been around for 65 years. This is what started Neolife, like I said, back in 1958. So why whole grains? Why do we need to supplement, right? Can we eat bread, right? Can we eat rice and soybeans? Well, years ago, they used to grow the wheat, grind the wheat to make the flour and make the bread. And our breads had a day shelf life. So they discovered that if they mill out and they remove these critical oils from the grain, they can make our breads have a longer shelf life. So now how long do our breads last, right? Weeks. Our cereals last years, our pasta lasts forever. So we do call it the great grain robbery because of mass production, they mill out all these critical nutrients and we're left with this starch, kind of white flour, protein, gluten. And why do you think so many people have sensitivities to wheat, to grain? It's not the grain, it's what man has done to the grain. So again, this is one of the biggest challenges we have. And again, this product has been around for a long, long time, right? 65 years old. And, when you look at what you need to eat, even in just one Tran, the amount of grains that you'd have to consume to get the critical oil out of one Tran, 550 calories. It'd be hard to do. And you'd have to do this every single day. So that's why supplementing with missing, just a great way to fill the nutritional gap. And this is in our Pro Vitality, which is a vitamin pack that has all these nutrients in there. That has your grain oil, your carotenoid, your omega-3 fish oil, and a multivitamin. So we really like to call this a Cadillac of multis to help to fill the nutritional gaps as to what's missing. In your diet. So when you look at what's in here, 12 pounds in a month. And this is just a great foundation, again, to fill the gap as to what's missing in your diet. What else is that challenge in some of our men around the world? Can you guys hear me okay?
Not really.
Okay.
Breaking up.
Yeah, we're breaking up a little bit there.
Okay.
One of the areas.
Do you want me to go back and you can repeat the slide a little bit? What did you hear about the Tran or no?
Yes, we have the Tran.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the big areas that's so important, especially not just for men, but for everyone, is working on preventing diabetes and obesity, because it creates so many health issues. Can you change the slide, Nana? And as we know, like diabetes is a global health crisis in Canada, US, all around the world. And they're saying that we're going to have 100% increase by 2030. And a lot of, especially type 2, is you can do so much to help prevent it. And so it's just, keying in on a lot of these nutrients that we need and getting our weight under control and exercising and just doing the good lifestyle changes. So what are some of the health consequences of being obese and overweight? Well, you're no longer sensitive to insulin. So that's what happens with your cells. They become insulin resistant. And this increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. And it opens up that what we call metabolic syndrome. And you see a lot of people as they get older, they kind of get into where they start getting high blood pressure, high triglycerides, the risk of heart disease increases, and they start having joint issues. And these are all consequences. So what does the National Diabetes Education Program recommend? Again, go back to that foundation, 5 steps: whole grains, fruits and vegetables, fish, healthy weight, and exercise. Exercise plays a huge role in controlling blood sugar and also keeping our weight down. And one of the big problems is often what we eat for breakfast, right? Because a lot of times people eat coffee, you know, and muffins and toast, and it's all carbohydrate. Well, we need to eat protein for breakfast. This is the key. It helps you lose weight. It keeps your blood sugar in the, like what they call the glycemic zone, so you're not on that roller coaster. A protein smoothie is a great way to give us energy, and Neolife has a delicious shake, and it's a great way to start our day. And there's, you can see the Pro Vitality and the shake together. That's an excellent combination as a foundation, right? Because you need the foundation before you kind of go on to the next step to get your cells functioning right. And here's just a testimonial. This was Quincy, and as you can see, he lost 130 pounds. But the key is, you can see he lost that belly fat, and that's the, you know, when the fat is in the belly, they call it visceral fat, and that's the white fat. Is very, very dangerous for the organs and for the body. And here's a recent testimonial. This was our 2023 champion. He lost 66 pounds and 4 pants sizes. He was a police officer, and he was introduced to Neolife Shake by a friend, and he had incredible results with the product as well. And you know, we are showing you some testimonials, but there is evidence-based science behind these shakes too. They were published in the American College of Nutrition. They were proven for weight loss, 10% body fat reduction, lower BMI, cardiovascular reduction in LDL, like so heart benefits, you know, so there's really good research behind the Neolife shake, because it does have all 22 amino acids. It's a complete protein. And this is my handsome husband, Henry. He's going to tell a story, so I hope you can hear it.
My name is Henry. I was introduced to Neolife 29 years ago, and I was in my 30s at the time, and I didn't believe I had any health issues that were, I thought it was just me. And Maryellen, my lovely wife, convinced me to take the products, and I found great results, to the fact that my kids even noticed the difference in me. When I turned 40, or in my 40s, I ended up with some injuries doing the sports that I was doing. The doctors suggested certain things, and then Maryellen mentioned things. I decided to go the natural way with Maryllen's suggestions, and to this day, I feel great. I separated shoulders, knee injuries, and no surgeries. In my 50s, when I decided to retire from the police, I was the only one that was not on any medication. Decided to leave the police with me. There was a group of about 14, 15, everyone was on medication except for me. And now in my 60s, mid 60s, I'm just enjoying retirement, and it's been an awesome ride.
Awesome. Could you hear that?
Hi, everyone. My name.
Could you hear that one okay, guys?
Yeah, not too bad. A little garbly, but not too bad.
Okay. Sorry about that. And this is can you hear me now? I just want to make sure. I don't want to be awesome. So John is an old friend of mine, and anyways, he's a lot of fun, but the products have totally impacted his life as well.
It's John Landolfi. I think there's some of you on this chat that know me. I'm a good friend with Nada's. We grew up together. I guess it's been now about 40 years that we've known each other. And that introduced me to the Neolife products when I was 26 years old. So it's almost 30 years ago as well. And I had a lot of health concerns also. I had bad allergies, bad acne, bad digestion. I had it all at the age of 26, and I thought I tried everything. And Nada comes back into my life and put me on a program. And after 3 weeks, really, I felt like Superman. And the thing that I really want to stress here is that I am Nada's age. Gosh, I can't believe her. And I think, way younger than 55, and that's not me saying it. It's so many other people saying it to me. Yesterday, for example, I was at the gym and I introduced somebody to my daughter, and he goes, "That's your daughter?" I go, "Yeah, it's my daughter." I go, "Why?" He said, "That's your daughter?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And he was looking at me funny, looking at my hair and looking at me. He goes, "You don't look old enough to have a 22-year-old daughter." And I said, "Thank you." And he was 53, so he's a couple of years younger than me. And I go, "I get the secret." And today I sent him some information that I think he's happy with that. So, anyways, I mean, 55, hardly any gray hair. My brothers always teased me about dyeing my hair. Never dyed my hair once. And I have absolutely nothing else to attribute it to than to these unbelievable products, because stress is in everybody's life, lack of sleep is in everybody's life. So really, when I compare myself, I look at somebody that's the same age as me, I go, holy cow, something has really worked here. And it's GNLD, it's Neo Life. I don't know how many different names we have, but anyways, it's Neo Life right now. And everybody who's on the Zoom that doesn't know me, get the heck on the products and build yourselves a big business. Okay, over and out. God bless y'all. It's John Landolfi.
That's good old Johnny. And now we actually have another John live with us this evening. That's gonna introduce that's gonna share his journey. And he's, some of you know Rose Pilato, and it's her, should I say better half or other half, John?
No, you could say it's my lovely wife.
Your lovely wife. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I started with Neo Life. I guess when Rose started, she got me onto the program. So I've been on, I think now 6 or 7 years. I'm 61 years old. I don't take any medication, and I can honestly say when I wake up in the morning, I wake up with no pain whatsoever, and it's all because of the Neo Life program. What I've tried to focus, and Maryellen mentioned it, is inflammation. So I'm very keen on the salmon, and I take a full motion. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but it helps with inflammation. But my excuse me, my Neo Life diet consists of, I take the Pro Vitality, I have my salmon, full motion, vitamins A, C, and D. The vitamin D is by far the best vitamin C you'll ever have. It's like having candy. It's delicious. And then I take zinc and garlic. So that's what I consist by Pro Vitality. I think I mentioned that. I also,
and the protein shake too.
That's what I want to say, Nat, is that what I changed was that having the shake in the morning. As Maryellen said, I've gotten away from a toast. I have that on the weekend. I kind of spoil myself on the weekend, but during the week, 5 days, I'm having my shake. And I find that once I've had the shake, I pretty much go to noon until I eat something. I may have a banana in between, but I technically do not eat anything other than I have the shake and I drink water, and that's it. I've also learned I got away from any sort of soda pop, any sort of sugary drink. So I don't do any of those drinks where you have high sugar, caffeine. I've stayed away from that. I basically tried to reduce my diet when it comes to liquids, which is basically coffee, water, particularly water. I never used to drink water, and now I do try to drink as much as I can during the day. And I've stopped drinking fruit juices as well. I basically try to have everything less sugar. So any processed sugar, I try to keep away. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, so every once in a while, I like to have a cookie, a cannoli, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, it's in moderation, which is what I think is the key. And I've had tests when I go to doctor every year, and he basically tells me, you're in good shape, good heart rate, blood pressure, and I have to say that it doesn't take a lot of work to do that because you have to, as you say, exercise. So Rose and I have started working out and going to a gym, but we were, I think with the start of COVID, started walking every night. And it's become our routine. We have dinner and then we go for a walk. It's a 40-minute walk. It's a good walk, but it really, really helps. And I find that when you get on the couch after you've got energy, you're not going to fall asleep. Eventually I do fall asleep, but that's because maybe the movies aren't that exciting. But Neolife it's been very good for me. And I think it's not difficult to do. You take your vitamins, and what I've been doing now is I think I'm up to about maybe 20 vitamin pills a day. So I would say about 14 of them during the morning, and then I bring the other 6 for my lunch. And I have that at lunchtime. And I've also started doing the Elevate, which is, I highly recommend that if you need a little bit of a boost. It's very helpful, and it tastes great. It's like so easy to drink. So any of these things that I've mentioned, the only one that I would say is I get sometimes a little bit of a repeat is the garlic, but other than that, the salmon oil is by far the best salmon oil I've ever taken. I used to take other salmon oils. I've always found that they repeated on me, but this one here is a great salmon oil. It doesn't repeat on me, and it's effective. Like I go to a chiropractor once a month, and he tells me, like your joints are good. I had some back issues before, but he helps me with that. But I think it's my diet that really is what is made me stay healthy. And now, as you said, the exercise is very vital, especially as you get older. You need to exercise more with, like I'm learning to do with weights, just to keep the muscle intact. And I just try to find that with exercise, diet, trying to get some good rest, it really helps. It makes the
I'll
mornings
say,
easy.
John, that you're aging gracefully. That's
Oh,
what I
thank you.
say. And you know what? I know your diet is clean and healthy. I know because especially with Rose being vegetarian, you guys tend to
Yeah,
eat a lot of vegetables. And
yeah,
not to scare everybody, but you don't have to be taking that many pills. I think the reason why John you've also had some injury.
yeah,
So we increased
yes. Oh,
some
yes.
products
Now
to
it's right.
recover from
Yeah,
injury, from a torn ligament. So I think that's why
yeah,
you increase some of the products. But even just starting with the breakfast solution, like the vitamins in that little vitality pack and
yeah.
the
I
protein shake,
agree.
that is a great foundation to start on. And the only reason you might need to add other things like John has is if you have other serious health challenges, then you can add other products. But even starting with just the vitality pack and the shake, a great foundation.
Yeah,
So thank
no,
you
I
so much.
agree.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's great to see you, and I'm glad you're able to share your story tonight. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Take care, Nat. Bye bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you. And I'm still coming through okay if I continue? Awesome. Okay, just want to make sure. So, when you talk about athlete's foot or fungus or, anything to do with um, thickening of the skin, like I said, with athlete's foot redness, I mean, this is a very common problem in a lot of men. And even like candida, which we're going to talk a little bit about. And we have a couple of products that'll nip this in the butt, which is garlic and acidophilus. And we even have like a detox or like a 30-day cleanse, a candida cleanse that can also get this right under control. So, when you're looking at funguses and things like that, you need to kill it. And that's what the garlic is, like a natural antibiotic. It'll go in and kill it. And then you're going to put in some of that good live bacteria, which is our probiotic. So this is something that we've had great success when men have this kind of issue happening with athletes foot. Now I'm going to quickly share Moses' story because Moses is a friend of my son Luke's, and he's a musician. And I don't know if you know, but musicians create all night. They like to record, and their music, like I said, their minds work at night. So sometimes they're up all night, eating a lot of junk food to stay awake, drinking a lot of coffee. And anyways, my son called me out of the blue a few months ago and said, Mom, my friend Moses has boils so bad that he can't even walk. It got to a point where even his skin was constantly itchy. And I said to him, I said, oh, he must have yeast. And Moses was like, yeast? Men can have yeast? He was like was scared even the thought of having a candida overgrowth. So I told him, I said, just do the candida cleanse and see what happens. And oh my gosh, he got on the breakfast solution, so the vitamins and the shakes, and then did the cleanse. And do you know, after 4 or 5 days, I think it was 5 days, I got a text and pictures before and after. They're like, Mom, the boils are almost gone. I was like, whoa. And that's just by getting the cells healthy. Treanin, salmon oil, protein, and then doing the candida cleanse. All the itchiness of his skin went away. And yeah, so he was pretty happy. And he started to eat a little bit healthier as well. So they're really looking forward to trying that new Elevate that John was talking about. But Maryellen, we also have some herbals that also play a role in some other challenges that some of our men have.
Yeah, sometimes you do need a little extra support, and this is where herbals play a role. And the difference with the Neolife's herbals is they were developed by the world's foremost medical herbalist under the guidance of the Scientific Advisory Board. And they're pure herbs, hand harvested. And one thing that makes them, because I see this all the time where products aren't consistent, you might get one batch that has a certain amount. These are guaranteed for purity, potency, and consistency. So every batch is standardized, and there's no chemical or animal products in them at all. And one of the products that is very helpful for men is the masculine herbal complex. This supports vitality and healthy prostate function. These natural herbal formula contains key herbs that help promote physical vitality, just so they feel more balanced, because it helps regulate the hormones, healthy libido and related male functions, urinary tract and prostate health, functioning of the nervous system, and healthy blood pressure levels. So, especially as men get older, and calmness, positive mental attitude, and it relieves low mood. So it's a great sort of add-on if people need a little, or if men need a little bit of extra support. And it contains things like saw palmetto, which it has been shown to support prostate health. Although I know people who just take that in isolated form and they don't get great results. But because this isn't a balanced formula, and then they have the Avena sativa, which supports the nervous system, St. John's wort and skull cap for support calmness, mood, and positive mental attitude, and Damania for renewed vitality. So it's got a whole bunch of different herbs that work all synergistically together.
And I'm glad you said that, Maryellen, because I've had other men, and even when I met Trevor, he had tried another type of saw palmetto and didn't get any results. And when I learned about this, after he added the salmon oil, then I started to share that with other men, and they did do a blend of salmon and the masculine herbal. Amazing results with other issues happening in the prostate. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And often you hear this a lot too, but infertility is rampant, and it's not just women that have the issues, it's men as well. And some of the causes are increased estrogen levels, increased scrotal temperature, infections, and heavy metals. And the University of Wisconsin did a study where they showed zinc and folic acid increased men's sperm count by 74%. So of course that's helpful when you're trying to have a baby, right? And Super B has the folic acid, but it's always better to take the B vitamins in complex, because if you just take one, you knock off all the blood levels of others. So they work together again as the family, because when we eat B vitamins in our food, they're in a family, right? Zinc is very, very important. I know we have a great story of a couple in the US. She was a pharmacist, and they tried for years and years to get pregnant. And she took vitamin E and her husband took zinc, although they had tried it first, ran from her pharmacy with 0 results. And then when they took the Neolife zinc and vitamin E, they actually have two lovely children now who are all grown up. And what vitamin C does, it unclumps the sperm cells. So that's really important too, so that they can work properly. And with things with, this is a big problem too, is impotence. Diet is very, very important for this to avoid sugar. Sugar is oxidative, right? And if the blood sugar is all over the place, it causes all sorts of problems. Be careful with caffeinated products, and smoking, of course, inhibits the blood flow because it blocks the veins and things. In even small amounts of alcohol, some people are very sensitive, can cause infertility and impotence in some males. And sorry, I can't see here. The gentle exercise and adequate amount of sleep. Avoid medications, many of which cause impotence if you can, unless of course you're in a serious health issue where you need it. Like I mentioned, zinc and vitamin E is so powerful for sexual powers. And optimize vitamin D. That is involved in so many different areas of the body, but it's essential for the expression of over 2,000 genes. And the Neo Life Upbeat. We didn't talk a lot about Upbeat tonight, but this is it increases nitric oxide in the body. And of course, you know what Viagra and stuff does, it increases nitric oxide, but this does it naturally through beets. So there's no side effects at all. And here's a little video on it that we're going to share with you. We can't hear the video, Nana.
Can you not hear that? Oh, that is so bizarre because you heard everything else but that one. I mean, let me see if I share sound again. Huh. That is so weird.
Well, we can just watch the pictures anyways.
We didn't hear that at all. That is
Nope.
so, wow. Okay, I don't know what's happening tonight. Okay, well, at least you saw it, right? It is an amazing product, though. Upbeat and nitric oxide and increasing that circulation. So Maryellen, what about gout? You're muted, hon.
Sorry, I muted so I wouldn't make noise there. Yeah, gout is a big problem too. And that's, you see a lot of people, they have, especially get it right in the big toe. And they say it feels like you have a needle sticking right in your toe. It's so, so painful. So some of the things that help with that, of course, healthy diet is always related, because if you have a lot of inflammation, gout is a form of arthritis, it will trigger it off. You want to drink plenty of fluids during or between attacks. We recommend 8 to 16 cups of fluid each day and lots of water. Yeah, avoid alcohol, limit red meat because again, it seems to trigger it off. Consuming cherries, like 45 Bing cherries daily, has been shown very, very helpful in gout. And try to identify the food triggers that cause attacks or make them worse. Sometimes doing a food diary will help. And then you can notice, like, if, oh, gee, look at, on the days that I've had this 2 or 3 days later, I get a gout attack. I remember I was on a cruise one time and there was this guy and he was so excited. He would order 3 or 4 entrees every single meal and 3 desserts and 3 appetizers. Well, the last day he didn't order anything. I go, oh, you're not eating tonight? He goes, no, I have gout. And it was when we eat all the food, right? So some of the supplements that help with it are Pro Vitality, of course, the foundation, tree and end grain concentrates. The carotenoids are helpful too, because again, prevent oxidative damage. Omega-3 to get the inflammation down. If it is a diet related thing, if foods are bothering you, the enzymes help us absorb our nutrients properly. Protein is very important because especially you want to have good, like the Neo Life Shake, because you want to have a good quality protein and stay away from some of the, the red meats and things like that. I did have a gentleman with gout who found full motion phenomenal when he added that to his breakfast solution. So not saying you need all of these products, but again, these are products that can be helpful. The B complex, of course, and managing weight. So these, like, again, we're not saying you take this whole thing. Usually start with foundation and try 1 or 2, and then you can tweak it from there if you need to.
Yeah, I've had one of my amazing customers. He just does Pro Vitality and salmon. Amazing results with gout. He completely has it under control. So I really think it depends on the individual, their diet, and how bad it is. So yeah, thank you, Maryellen. And Full Motion. I hope we can hear this story because this is a pretty awesome product. This is what really helped me tremendously with my joint pain in my knees, and my mom who had severe arthritis in her fingers and her toes. And this product here helps to rebuild cartilage or repair cartilage. It's pharmaceutical grade, pure, and it works. I've had people try so many other glucosamines on the market and they don't work at all. So I really hope you can hear Tibor because I just videotaped this, and please, hang on.
So issues with my hand.
Tibor, and as you can see, he's doing this amazing renovation, building an addition on his home. Lots of work, lots of wear and tear on your joints, and you're having some issues with your hands. So maybe just share your journey.
Yeah, so issues with my hand and my elbows, and so I was taking nothing because I don't like to take anything. I don't like pills, supplements. I take nothing. But I started seeing my wife got better on Life, and then her friends got better with issues, and then her neighbor got better. And I thought, well, I'm not going to get left out. Like, I'm going to try. So I went against my natural inclination, and I've tried it. For 2 months, I was taking the regular pack. My wife knows everything. And I was taking salmon oil and magnesium and
Full Motion.
Full Motion. And so I gave it a try. So I used to have to ask, which is kind of embarrassing, after work to ask, I used to ask, can you rub my hands for my wife and my son? So after 2 months, actually the month and a half, just my hands stopped hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so grateful for that. Like, my elbows still are hurting, but my hand, I don't have to ask anybody to massage my hand. So that to me is huge.
Yeah, and it's only been 2 months, so I know you have some other issues happening, and you're working a lot, like very physical labor here, like all on your own.
I can't stop. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. The blocks, I did the basement blocks, 50-pound blocks for the center blocks down there, and these blocks, some of them are 70 pounds. So
yeah, a lot of lifting, a lot of carrying, a lot of work, a lot of wear and tear on your joints. And again, I'm so grateful that you're going to be patient and give it another 3 months, and we're probably going to hear from you again. So thank you again.
So I'm very grateful. My hands are good.
Awesome. Thank you. So that's just one. We have so many tests. That's Francis's husband, guys. I don't know if you remember Francis. Yeah, so that's cool. I stopped by to see him the other day, and he's so grateful because that job that he's doing, he rebuilt that structure all on his own. Everything, foundation, he carried every brick like crazy. Anyway, so the products have just helped him to do this job. And now we're going to hear from another favorite guy, Winston. Come on down. You have to unmute yourself. There we go. Hey, Wins, how are the products impacted your life? Maryellen, this is one of your dearest friends.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is okay. Well, my story starts about 28 years ago when Joan, my wife, joined Neolife. And I was a bit hesitant at first because I used to take vitamins and so on. And I said, let me finish my stuff before, I try anything else. So it took me a while before I started on Neolife products. But after that, about 2-3 years after that, I was coaching my daughter's ice hockey team, and I went full speed into the boards with my knee and cracked my kneecap. And the orthopedic surgeon said, I'll put you in a soft cast, stay off your leg for about 4 to 6 weeks, and after that, come back and we'll take a look, and maybe in a couple of years we have to operate and clean it out. So I didn't want to go that route, so Joan put me on a program, salmon oil and calcium, and you wouldn't believe it. I was fully healed. I had lost 50% of my muscle after 6 weeks on a cast. Gained everything back, and started running half marathons, and with no pain in my knees. So that was about 14 half marathons to this day. No problems with my knees, and I'm still running. I'll be turning 70 next year, and looking forward to doing another half marathon again.
And you're an active granddad too, Winston, or right?
Doesn't color his hair.
But he doesn't color his hair. Way to go, Tony. Yeah, I know.
After all these years, the pipes are all functioning and the hydraulics are all
TMI, TMI.
Way to go. Thanks so much for sharing with us tonight, guys. And, we did talk a lot about different products. And, we really focus on the core nutrition that Maryellen and I talked about tonight, the Pro Vitality with the shake. That's a fabulous place to start. And if you have specific, conditions, then we can look at some other things just to help to support your body and what it needs for recovery and healing. And that's what good nutrition will do. So you've heard some powerful stories tonight. And the newest product that we just launched in July is our Elevate Nootropic Energy Drink. And oh my gosh, I'm hearing from so many guys that are noticing incredible difference in just their mood, physical endurance, mental focus, balancing the mood, and also hydration. And there's just caffeine from green tea. There's magnesium and electrolyte minerals. So it just hydrates, it balances, and it just gives you that energy without having the jitters and the shakes that some of the energy drinks out there will give you. So amazing new product that we just launched, and I'm so grateful to have this. And like I said, a lot of our men are really enjoying it. And same with my boys. I call them boys, but I guess they're men. They're 23 and 25, and they're noticing a big difference with the new Elevate product. So some of you are probably wondering, how the heck do I get a hold of these products? Well, it's free to become a member of Neolife. As soon as you become a club member, you automatically get a discount, either 10 or 20% savings. You can also earn your products for free. You can get your shipping back by being a loyal customer in a monthly order. And also there's an amazing income opportunity for if you're thinking, wow, are these products that good? When I looked at this 35 years ago, I was not looking at building a business. I was really happy being on the police force. But I just found that as I started building my Neolife business part-time, just by sharing, I got really excited. And where can you start a business for as little as $98? That's your investment in the business in Canada, or 75 in the US. And this gives you a discount of 25% off and full access to the compensation plan. So if you're kind of curious about that, just reach out to the person that invited you. I was able to leave my police career because of these amazing stories, because of the products impacting people's lives. So if you're in a position where you can use a little extra cash because the products work, it totally is a viable business. But these are the packs that we recommend you taking a look at, whether it be a vitality pack, whether it be the breakfast solution where you do one shake a day and one vitamin pack a day. Fabulous place to start. Or if you have a lot of weight to lose, and you can do 2 shakes a day, and that's when you're looking at the weight loss solution there with the 4 bags of protein, because you're doing 2 protein shakes a day. And we have a group on Facebook. If you want to learn more and check us out and see, are these stories really happening? We have over 11,000 people now in this group. And the stories that are shared are incredible. So if you want to just learn a little bit more, we can invite you to this group and you can really hear some more stories. A lot more, 11,000 stories. So we can have you added to that group if you'd like. And again, if you just want to try the products, join as a member for free, give them a try. If you're curious about that income opportunity, just reach out to us. If you want to learn more, every Thursday we do a different health topic. So tonight was men. I think next week we're going to focus on women. And then the week after we might do things like digestion or arthritis or mental health. So, just join us. If you want to learn more, and we will help you and guide you in that direction. Again, if you have any questions, I'll stop the recording and open it up to any questions that you may have. So thank you again for joining us tonight. Appreciate you all. And I'm sorry for some of the technical challenges, but I think that happens when you live in the country. So I will now stop the recording. Thank you again for joining us.